Hello, kids. Let's get cracking. Can you hear me? I know there's probably only a few of you in the actually watching this live now, because obviously it's the middle of the day. I know you have other things to do. So I assume a lot of you will watch it tonight. But if someone could let me know they can hear me, that would be good. If not, I'll just crack on and pray, because I know there's not many of you in here. Obviously, it's the middle of the bloody day basically. But yeah, if someone could let me know, that would be great. If not, I'll just crack on and pray that you can hear me. Come on, there's enough for you. One of you can let me know. I think the stream is a little bit behind, actually. Okay, yeah, it's actually about like 60 seconds behind. So I've still not seen any comments come through. I'm going to get started and assume that you guys can hear me, just to save some time. So in this last week, we basically sold, the strong. Okay, Luca, sweet, thank you, mate. You can hear me. Okay, cool. Yeah. So basically, this last week, we've sold the majority of our assets, and we've gone into the safer assets in the crypto space. So what I've done, and I've told you guys about this as well, is that instead of being like majoritarily in alts, which is where I was at, I've now moved to being out my 100%. I moved 70% in cash, so USDT, sat there, ready and raring to go, and then 30% in Bitcoin because it's the safe asset. I actually have about 2 or 3% in like Chainlink and things like that, but that's it. I almost don't care if that does go down, and more just because I don't like the idea of being solely out of it. So I get scared being solely out of it. So I want to, but I'm still taking the principle that it's majority Bitcoin and then 2-3 times that in cash. Is the stream quality good, guys? Like you can see everything okay and stuff? Hi, Elias, I think is how you say that. Hi. Yeah, is the stream quality okay? But yeah, I'll continue. If someone could let me know, that would be good. So what's happened is, and the reason for the change is that in December, the Fed came out, because they've been very sort of coy on doing any changes in terms of interest rates and the tapering. So what's happened is, cool, thank you, Luca. So what's happened is that we've now had a speeding up of interest rates. So what's going to happen is they're going to likely introduce interest rates and increase in interest rates sooner rather than later. So that's bad. It makes the cost of borrowing money more expensive. So that means that okay, so that's one factor. So cost of money is going to go up, and rather than it be June, it's likely that the first rate hike will likely be March. So, and this is where this article comes in, just showing you guys. So now what you've also got is the taper rate. So because of COVID and the whole economy basically being fucked, basically, they are now going to introduce, or what they did introduce, printing money and putting it into the economy. The way they've done this is by buying mortgage-backed securities and by buying bonds. So they buy those assets up, and they now own those assets, and the money they basically printed or created, they've injected that into the economy by buying up those bonds and buying up those mortgage-backed securities. So the amount they were putting in was $120 billion every month. So every month they're printing that and buying up bonds and buying up mortgage-backed securities. Now what they're doing with the tapering is the reduction of the amount they're injecting into the economy. So rather than be 120 billion each month, it will then go to 90, to 60, to 30 until it's at zero. So what they're doing is they said they would start tapering I can't remember when they said they would start it, but they're going to speed up this process so that there's less money being injected into the economy. And that's basically where we're at. I think we're now at about 90 billion, and we're going to move into by March at 60 billion. So they're not putting in that much money. 30 billion in 3 months' time coming into the economy each month is far less than 120 billion that was coming in 2-3 months ago. So the amount of money they're shoving into the economy every month has gone down by a quarter. Now, these things are bad for the market, but they're not terrible. And this was all priced in December. So we had it come out in December. We then had that big move down December the 4th. So that all of that was fine, not that big an issue. So which is why we remain still reasonably bullish, because the Fed is still putting money into the economy each month. So it's not that big a deal. However, what's happened in the meeting minutes for that December meeting and those meeting minutes came out last Wednesday, they basically hinted at the fact that they would start Fed balance sheet normalization sooner. So what this is, so in order to stimulate the economy, they printed money and bought the bonds and mortgage-backed securities, which I just explained. So now what they have is they have a shitload of these mortgage-backed securities and these bonds that are now basically becoming older and coming close to expiration. They now have to start selling these into the market. So not only are they, by tapering, are they putting less money into the economy each month, what they're now doing is they're now gonna, they're not gonna start it anytime soon, but they'll likely start it in September time. But this is negative for the economy, which is why people have turned bearish. So what they then said they were going to do is they're then going to start selling these mortgage-backed securities and these bonds that they bought up during the COVID relief. They're going to start selling that back into the market. So not only are we going to have the tapering, which is less money coming into the economy, we're also going to have a sell-side pressure of them constantly selling these bonds and these mortgage-backed securities that they bought up. And with the money that comes into their pocket, so the money they get for selling these bonds and mortgage-backed securities, they're going to basically take out the economy. So they're basically shortening the money supply. With shortening this money, and you can see here, doubling its taper rate, so the speed in which it's basically tapering. So the speed in which it's putting money into the economy is going to be faster, but less of it each time. So they're speeding up that cycle. But with the fact of them pulling that money back out of the economy by selling the mortgage-backed securities and the bonds back into the market, which there will be buyers for, because people will want to buy, or investors want to buy these bonds and mortgage-backed securities because they're safe assets. And the reason we're going into this safe assets point of view is because with the constant sell pressure from the Fed, they're pulling out this money from the economy because the money they're getting for the mortgage-backed securities and the bonds, they're keeping on the side, and basically they're trying to reduce the money supply to stop inflation. But what this says to investors, this says there's not going to be a constant injection of cash into the economy, but there's actually going to be a net withdrawal from cash out of the economy. So that encourages investors to steer away from risky assets, because risky assets won't be able to find a bid. So what this means is that the money that the investors have are not going to go into risky assets. They're going to go into the safer assets. So rather than going to Bitcoin, they'll go into gold. Or instead of going to equities, they'll go into bonds. And so what this does now is it means that there's not as much money in crypto that's ready to be at play, basically, to be at risk. It's moved into gold. And the ones that are in the money that's in equities has now moved into bonds. So what that is now telling us is this. When we see, that whole process of selling those assets is called quantitative tightening. I probably should have brought this article up earlier, but I've sort of gone past it now. But let's see. So with Bitcoin, if we look at it, let's go on to a cleaner chart. Sorry, it's a little bit slow because of me running the stream. So what we saw before this news came out is we saw this. So this is another Bitcoin pattern. So I'll explain the Bitcoin structure afterwards. But anyway, for now, we saw that before all of this is on the daily time frame. So this is the drop down in early December. This is before the meeting came out. So what you saw is liquidity was in the market because people thought, or investors thought, that the Fed are going to continue printing. They might only do 1 or 2 rate hikes next year in 2022, rather than that we now know that there will be 3. So what happened is this. Investors are still bullish. They're still risk on. So when you see Bitcoin crash like this and the wick come down, there's buyers. There's lots of bids. There's lots of money at the side waiting to come in to find a bid and to whiz this up higher, basically. Which is why you saw the crash down to 40,700 and then close back at 49,000. This is on Binance, by the way. But that just shows you the ridiculousness of how much liquidity there was in the market in terms of buying power. So there's a huge amount of buying power in the market at this point because you've got this crash down and this immediate bounce back up in the same day. That's brilliant, basically. But you're now seeing that as you come down, you close at the bottom of the candles. You come down, you close at the bottom of the candles. Here we've got a little bit of a different structure, but we still can't find that liquidity. We can't find that bid that drives us higher. Okay, so We have now so you can see why the okay. So let me go into it this way. So Bitcoin was at 69k back in early November. We've had a basic 2-month downtrend. We've now reached a really pivotal box here. This should be a buy zone, but the reason we're not if the macro wasn't looking so bad, I'd be putting my balls on the table here and I'd be buying the life out of this. But because the macro is so bad, the liquidity is not there, which is what we're seeing. Here the liquidity was there. But here it's just not coming in. We should be having some sort of relief bounce. Here we had a clear breakout of the downtrend, and Binance is not a good chart. Bitfinex chart is good, but we had a clear break of the downtrend on the Bitfinex chart, which is what a lot of traders use. We should have gone. We should have gone at least up to 58k and tested that zone, but we didn't. So that it still shows you back then there was that risk-off approach. So even now we've got this big falling wedge, assuming you discount this. We've got this big falling wedge. We should have at least a break up to, you need a minimum of a break up to, and in any sort of bullish scenario, you get a minimum break up to 48k, absolute minimum. But for now, it's just not seeming to get the bids. It's not seeming to find the liquidity. The structure here is so strong for at least a relief rally to 47, 48k. But because of the macro picture, we're just not getting the liquidity. We're not getting the bid that drives us up there. So this is why we have this risk-on approach this risk-off approach we currently have now, which is 70% cash, 30% crypto, and of that crypto, 100% of that 30% is pretty much in Bitcoin. I think there's, like I said, maybe 10% of that crypto is in Chainlink and things like that. But we also have RSI here. We're still not creating any bullish divs or anything like that. The RSI is reasonably oversold. So you'd like to think we're going to have that relief rally, but we're not finding liquidity for now. Let's have a look at Ethereum. So are there any questions in the chat with regards to the macro picture? And even though the structure of crypto looks really bullish right now in terms of the charting, do you understand why, with the information I've given, as to why I've taken the approach I've taken? And if not, and you want to explain further, write something in the chat, or write something in the bloody hell, what's it called? The chat box on YouTube, or put it in the pro chat in Discord, and I'll get back to it and answer it later, basically. But if you can do it in the YouTube chat now, obviously I can sort of try and answer it here and now. But yeah, like we should, if we look at Ether, the whole box has played pretty well actually. I think people have said, you know what, this is actually taking the piss now. I'm gonna fill some orders and try and get that relief rally. And it's looking like we may get it. We've had no bull divs or anything like that, but we've had some sort of rally up, which is okay. If you filled this box, you would have probably got an average entry of anywhere between 3,000, 350, I would say. So you'd be looking at like a half decent profit now. Personally, I did play it at the start and I haven't played it since. I think I came out with like absolute like a pointless profit, so it's not even worth talking about, to be honest. But you would like to think you're going to get. Let's get rid of this now. It's pointless. You'd like to think you're going to get a move to this orange box, and that's where the personal Ethereum I hold, I will likely sell a strong chunk of it. That's just in my personal accounts, not in like my main trading portfolio, which is the one I sort of track for you guys, but just the personal Ethereum I've been holding for like months and months and years or whatever. I will sell some of that in this orange box. But we should be getting some form of relief rally. We have inflation coming out tomorrow. The inflation expected number is 7.1%. So this is what will happen, and I would like to be reactionary to this, is that when that inflation number comes out, the expected number is 7.1%. So if the inflation number comes out and it is in and around 7.1%, bears will try to, that's basically saying, wow, inflation is actually high. Bears will try and take over, and they'll try and force us down. Sorry, let me go back to Bitcoin. And they'll try and force us back down again. If Bitcoin can climb above 43, hopefully we'll get that relief rally. But for now, if inflation does come out and it is high, it is at the 7% mark or above. If it is above the expected, Christ, that will be bad. I can see us easily pulling down to 38 as a minimum target, probably down to the 36 zone, 35 zone. If inflation comes out and it's only like 5-6%, that's actually not too bad. So what that might then mean is, things aren't as bad as it seems. The market will take it as a positive note and will likely get that relief rally. So I think a lot of capital is sat on the sides right now, waiting for this number to come out, and then hopefully, if the number comes out and it's like not as bad as first thought, then you'll see the markets respond positively to that. You might get a half decent January, and the first half of February might be half decent. For instance, Bitcoin might rally to like 48, a slow uptrend. And then the March meeting, there'll be, so the end of February and March, there'll be the meeting for the interest rates. So the likelihood is that there will be an interest rate hike in March, I think personally. So if there is that interest rate hike in March, I think some of the top guys will also be thinking the same, and they'll be taking some profits if we get the good inflation number. They'll be taking some of the profits in here, and they'll be looking to be out again, like waiting for whether the Fed chooses to up the interest rate in March, and assuming that they will do, the market will then tank again. So that's where I think we're at for the next sort of 6 weeks or so with regards inflation over the next the inflation number that comes out tomorrow, and then what might happen around that between now, February, and then the Fed meeting in March with regards, are they going to up the interest rate or not? I think they probably will, especially if the inflation rate is at the 7% mark in tomorrow. So sorry, I've got one comment. So basically, people will de-risk assets by selling their crypto and putting it in safer assets, right? What price would we need to change that sentiment? It's not about price changing the sentiment, it's about the Fed changing the sentiment. So it wouldn't be, unless crypto just had some mad breakout and it went past, if crypto went past 53, that would be, that would be a target for 58 straight away. But what you're saying there, the price would not change the sentiment, it would be the Fed that changes the sentiment. So people like to think that this isn't, the Fed and crypto is not interlinked, it's cobblers basically, it's rubbish. They are very much linked now because the big boys are trading it in the banks, the hedge funds, the institutions, and they go off what the Fed is doing. So they know where the liquidity is going to be or not going to be, and they trade that stuff accordingly, which is why we're now struggling to find bids. Hopefully in this stream we're getting a little bit of a half decent move up, so hopefully if we can get past 43, that would be nice. But let's see. Every time we've had like some little pump up, we seem to get rejection. I've got another question. If the number turns out good, what coin should we consider? Or is the watchlist still valid? So right now I will do a watchlist first thing tomorrow morning, so you have the most updated version. I'm currently not really entering, I'm not looking to enter coins. The only one I might consider is probably Ethereum, because it's just off a big downtrend. You could easily get a move up to 3.5, I'd say. But let's see what comes out. Unless we have if we get a pump now to 3.4 today before the number tomorrow, then I'm not really interested in playing it. I'm more wary here rather than willing to take risk, if that makes sense. So I'd rather be sat on the side, have 30% of Bitcoin, which is a safer asset, and look to accumulate more later. But in terms of trading opportunities, what I would be looking for is for shorts over the coming weeks if things do get a slight relief rally. So Ethereum tomorrow, if we stay around here, because we did get no, we didn't get a bull div. No bull div on Ethereum, so I probably wouldn't bother. I mean, Bitcoin's trying here at 42.5, so let's see how we go. But I don't have much confidence, to be honest. But hopefully we do get some, because we are due a relief rally at least, I think. But let's see what we get. But in terms of shorting opportunities, Litecoin, over the next few weeks, if we do get that relief rally, that's where I'll be looking for opportunities, in the shorts. So Litecoin it's not high enough to short this. It's basically been at the same level for the last 2 months, or last month, sorry. So this is just not interesting for me. This should have broken out about 4 or 5 different times and just couldn't get the liquidity. So I'm not bothering with that. Solana is the one that I have an eye on. Alice I have an eye on, and Gala was quite a good one to have an eye on. Luna was also quite good, or was it AVAX? No, I think it was. We'll come to them. So Solana at the moment is out of the main uptrend, even though it's not really a main uptrend. Like it's not a, I don't know what that green line is doing in there. So at this moment in time, I'd love to see it climb to this orange box. If it climbs this orange box, I'll be shorting the absolute life out of it. But well, I'll be doing a decent sized move and be looking to add about. So if I've got £100, I'd look to short £40 of it here. And if the other £60, I'd short up here. But I don't think we'll get there. It'd be great if we did, because again, as I said, I'd short the life out of it. But Solana, here you don't short. You don't short out lows. That's not a thing. You want to be shorting in the boxes. So Solana will be one I'm looking at for shorting. And it'll be in those orange boxes. Again, I'll do an update for you guys first thing in the morning in terms of updating the watch list. Because I trade for 12 hours, the watch list doesn't need to be updated every day. But obviously with the meeting with the inflation announcement tomorrow, I'll make sure that there is watch list ready to go first thing in the morning, depending on what's going to happen. BNB has moved nicely here. I'd be looking to short in probably this orange box and the top orange box. Same story as Solana. Probably short maybe £35 if out of every 100 I have. I would short £35 worth in here and £65 worth in here. Well, you might not ever get to this box, but you've still earned some money on your third of your capital on the down move from there. But I don't think we're going to get any big convincing moves. I really don't. Matic. Nice little breakout from the yellow box. I would be shorting in the orange box. I think it would create a left shoulder, head, right shoulder, down. So I would be looking for shorts on Matic as well. BNB, probably not so much on BNB, even though those are the boxes I would play if I was going to play it. But Solana looks like a better bet for me. Matic looks like an okay bet as well. BNB I'll consider, but probably not go for it loads. DOT. This is the main box. Like, honestly, it's got no chance of getting there. It really hasn't. I mean, this isn't financial advice or any of that shit, but like, I don't think it's got any hope in hell of getting there. Here is too low. I wouldn't play it. Like Litecoin, it's not high enough for the risk reward to be on my side for the short, so I forget about it. So I don't play DOT. Link was already a possible short. If you played the orange box, you've done well. You lot got some fills of the orders. Move down. I mean, you could have made, what's that? Say you filled at 28. Cool. Let's just say you filled at 28, and it's now at 26.80. You might have got 4% average. 10x leverage. You might have got 40% out of it. But this can go higher. If I was holding a short, I'd take half profits and hold the rest. Let's look at AVAX and Luna. Okay, so AVAX is sort of trying to recover this yellow uptrend. I would look to be shorting in the orange box, and I would look to short. I would be worried if it got to this orange box, it'd be a clear breakout, and AVAX can pop in a break. I just don't think we're going to get liquidity to do this. I really don't. I'd be looking for a small short in here. If we did get here, I'd hold my position. So I'd want my position to be small enough to fill in here. But if we did get here, I'd still be comfortable holding. But if we got, say, here, I want my stop loss to be this white line, so 129. So what you need to do is you need to be able to place the orders in here and be comfortable enough to ride them all the way out to there. Actually, no, that's ridiculous stop loss. That's far too high. Probably play there. I'd probably play, if I had £100, I'd probably bet £15 here. I'd bet another £25 here. So my average entry is 114. So I'm trying to explain to you how to manage your money and manage your size and position well. So out of the £100 I had for allocate this trade, I'd fill £15 of the short in here, or dollars, $15 out of 100 in there, and I'd fill 25 in here. The reason for filling 25 in here is simply to get my average entry higher, so that my cost, I don't need it to fall as much for me to get back to break even and then to be in profit. So, but here would be my stop loss for sure. Let's look at Luna. Luna, I would look to do the same thing, very small amount in here, double the size in there pretty much. It's filled the yellow box and moved up well, and it's created this large uptrend. If you got a move into here, you might get a little bounce off the trend line again as you get the move down. So you might go here, 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 and then a break. That break will be absolutely stunning. If we get that break and you're in a big short, that'll be lovely. But let's see. Curve, I don't think is even bottomed yet. I mean, Curve needs to come down to. It's made a nice bounce here. Would I play this? No. It's just Curve's just too scary to play on the short side. It really is. I wouldn't bother playing Curve. It's just too frightening. But you can see here, these coins, like they fill these areas and then bang, they go. Like in here, it filled. Let me get rid of this weird little yellow uptrend line. It filled in the yellow box and then it goes. They don't really. I mean, it's struggling to find the liquidity. It's found some, but it dipped in once. It's gone again, gone above, closed back in, filled the rest of the orders, crashed below, closed back. Just it's not confident enough for me. Which is why I'm not interested in playing the buying opportunities here. Let's look at Phantom. Phantom one is one that I like the idea of shorting this if we was to get back up to like here level or even up to here. I'd have to re-chart this one. The Phantom does also frighten me slightly because I did do a watch list saying it could be a good buy in here and it broke out the pen upwards, done this mat. It's just a frightening coin. I don't know if I really want to go there. If there's a lack of opportunities elsewhere, then I would consider Phantom. But because there's good opportunities elsewhere, I don't see the need to play Phantom. For instance, Solana is pretty good. BNB is even better than Phantom. AVAX or Luna was I can't remember which one it was now. I think it was Luna, which was quite good. Matic can scare me slightly. But Solana is the one I like the look of the most, and it was. Let's just go back on it. AVAX was the one I quite liked the look of. Yeah, AVAX and Luna are both quite good actually. They're both decent. The one I'm sort of looking to go gun ho on would be Solana, just because it can come back to like $50. It really could if we get like a bit of a bear market. I don't think we're going to get some huge mad bear market as well. Just to be brutally honest with you, I think we might get some big corrections, but I don't think it's going to be like dragged out over 18 months like we've had previously. I think at most it might go through to like September time if we do really get it. I think there'll be a lot of opportunities to have rallies as well. I think February we might have a relief rally up to like 48k or something. But then because of the March meeting, the fears will kick back in again. It's hard to tell at this moment in time, but there's a lot of money sat on the side that's waiting to get back in, and we're seeing these big moves on crypto where it does these big 50% down moves and then it rips up again. So. And even the stock market does these 20% down moves. Sorry, not 20%. Does like these 10% down moves and then rips up again. So they might just be fast, and you have to sort of be able to sit through the volatility of it all. But yeah, let me get back to charts. Sorry, I go on tangents. Sand, not interested in. Just a bit. Just not interested in this. If it got a move up to the 550 range, I'd consider reshorting. Orange box played an absolute treat. Yeah, not really interested in it though. Mana again, we're not getting there. We're just not. Not interested in it. Mina is a brilliant project fundamentally, so for that reason, I mean, the orange box worked a treat there. But I wouldn't be shorting this just because I like the project fundamentally so much. Sorry, let me zoom in a bit for you guys. Let's have some look at some good. None of them actually catch my eye at all. Let's look at Atom. I know a lot of you like Atom. Okay. I'm not sure what I think here actually. I'd have to do some work on this chart. So I will do that, and I'll put this in the watch list tomorrow. For for now, I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't short it either. Just stay away from it. That would be the easiest answer to give you guys here. Probably what I'd actually end up doing anyway, to be honest. So even if I did do 10 minutes worth of, I will do the 10 minutes worth of chart work on it. But I likely here, you're in mid territory here. There's no point doing either. You know, longing or shorting. So I would steer clear. So Alice, it's on this long uptrend line. If you can get back to like the 13s, yeah, the 13s or the 15s, I would look to be shorting. Yeah, that's that for that one. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Bitcoin's half having a go here. I wouldn't be shocked if we did have a little move up. I don't think we will. I think we'll end up closing the daily lower again, just in the 41s maybe. But maybe we get some optimism going into tomorrow. But who knows? But I hope I've given. Sorry, I have seen there's some questions as well. Yes, with regard to testing the TradingView charts, I've sort of been busy with other things today now, but I might try and do that this evening. And I'll message a couple. I know Luca is from the expert membership. He'll do the expert stuff, and I'll have a look for anyone that's in the student membership to see if they'd be willing to sort of download it and try the links for me. Because obviously I can't register into someone else's TradingView, if that makes sense. So I need someone else to help me with it. Reggie, okay, just trying to find good quick flip for next coming days. Mate, to be honest with you, that's how you lose money. You need to be able to, there's so much chop and volatility in crypto. If you're looking for the quick next pump, you might get 10 on the spin. I mean, you're not going to get 10 on the spin, but you might go and get 3 or 4 on the spin, but one of them will wipe out 50% of your money. So it's just the complete wrong way to play it. I mean, if you can do it, great, good for you. I just don't know anyone that can play it. Bitcoin seems to be getting a little move here. It'd be nice if we can sustain it. Yeah, I don't know if we'll sustain it or not, to be honest. But either way, I'll be looking for the shorts in those orange boxes. Yeah, TradingView stuff. I'm trying to sort it. I'm busy with other things. I have a lot of focus on the NFT stuff. I know this is a quick job though. Like I should be able to get the TradingView charts done. It should only take me an hour or two in terms of finalising the last bits and sitting around with people to actually get them downloaded to see if you guys can download them and they actually work in terms of you being able to download the watch list, download the chart setups. So I will definitely get onto this. I will get onto it like in the coming days. But yes, that's it for today. If there's any other questions, let me know in the pro chat. Yeah, if there's any other questions, let me know in the pro chat. Inflation numbers are important tomorrow. I would like to be movable tomorrow so that if they do come out, the numbers do come out, they're not too bad, then I might look for a quick Bitcoin long or something like that. But yeah, let's see how it comes off. At this moment in time, the whole macro picture is so bad that we are risk off, and shorts will be the thing. So I'm more now, rather than looking in the bull markets, I was looking for the decent dips and refilling for longs. Now I'm looking for the relief rallies and shorting into those rallies. So the sentiment is now changed, and it might be that for a good few months. Who knows? Yeah, let's just keep assessing it as it is. Bitcoin seems to be getting some resistance on 42.5. Let's see how it does. Yeah, any questions, hit me up in the pro chat. Cheers, guys.